So, Jason, I'm not sure that everybody knows this, but TLS 1.3 is a necessary prerequisite to migrating to post-quantum algorithms, post-quantum certificates. And yet, in the real world, if you could do a survey of all the connections, it's mostly TLS 1.2 or even earlier. So everything's going to have to get to TLS to 1.3 to be PQC. And yet there seems to be this resistance to migrating to TLS 1.3. What's going on there?
You know, let's talk about the success first.
Okay.
And then we're going to get right into the problems. The success is, I think there's a whole lot of TLS 1.3 that's public facing.
Okay.
Like, so congratulations to everybody. You've done the right thing. TLS 1.3 public is anything that's facing the harsh public internet. There's a lot of TLS 1.3.
Yeah.
Where the adoption of TLS 1.3 has, to me, hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
Is internally within the enterprise, east-west traffic, if you will.
Yeah.
So data center to data center traffic, or this server to that server on the other side of the server room traffic.
Right.
East-west.
Sure.
I would say that TLS 1.3 has really hit a brick wall there for a few reasons. I would say the most real pragmatic reason is, Tim, a lot of intrusion detection systems rely on static API, static RSA key exchanges to be able to inspect and decrypt the packets.
Okay.
TLS 1.3 with perfect forward secrecy doesn't allow that.
So I'm using an intrusion detection system. I, as an IT or IT security team, want this capability, and TLS 1.3 is just plain too secure for me to have that capability. Well, that's a conundrum.
There's a conundrum. And you have to ask yourself the question, Tim. Do you like cryptographic backdoors?
Right.
Well, that's what all those systems
That's what
are
you're
doing.
giving them. Yes.
So I always fundamentally had a problem with it. Problem is I didn't have a really great answer as to what to do instead.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not the billionaire who had the solution.
Right.
But it really goes to show you that when your fundamental key exchange mechanism ain't kosher with your internal, what you're calling security appliances, it should show you that maybe that idea of that, what that security appliance is doing, maybe you should question it.
And either way, unless those security appliances can find another way to accomplish their mission, giving up on PQC seems like a mighty big price tag.
It might be the reason, Tim.
Yeah.
That might be the reason why when people really do their cryptographic inventory, they're going to look at some of these appliances that have been running for years, and they're going to be like, well, I can't get rid of that. Therefore, I can't put in PQC.
And I have a lot of PQC conversations with a lot of enterprises, and I'm always advising them to, be kind of grossly pragmatic about how you make these decisions. And if it actually turns out that the intrusion detection system is doing you more good than harm, you might choose to delay your migration to PQC. And that might even be a legitimate choice. I guess what I'm going to say is you need to do that eyes open, right? It needs to be a considered decision, understanding the puts and takes and saying, I have decided to do this.
You got it, Tim. And so it's going to be a big topic, I think. It's just, I don't think anybody's expressed that just in words in a podcast yet. So that's us. We're talking about that.
Yeah.
So number two is
that was number one, right?
And I think number two, which is kind of the more obvious one, is, hey, what happened with Heartbleed? What did everybody have to do with Heartbleed?
Well, we all had to go patch. I mean, basically.
Patch.
Yeah.
So I would say the reason
And then reissue all of our certificates. Yes.
So I would say that PQC internally in the enterprise is gonna be like a slow moving heartbleed patching cycle.
Right.
Because all those TLS 1.1s and 1.2s.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to speculate that the main reason that we see these old versions of TLS is because it just doesn't get prioritized. Pure and simple. It's not seen as a significant need, and it just doesn't bubble up to the top.
So therefore, as you're doing your cryptographic inventory, take stock of where are the places you're using TLS internally.
Yeah.
And we've got to think about that upgrade to 1.3.
Yeah.
And you don't need to wait till the last minute to do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, yes, we have the gift of time because it's not a heartbleed emergency where we have to patch.
Right.
But on the other hand, you are going to have to patch.
Yeah, and I'm going to push back on that a little. It's not a heartbleed emergency, but it is possible that you find yourself with some kind of deadline for implementing PQC, which could be imposed on you by someone outside of your company, a regulation, a guideline you've decided to follow, a requirement you're given by customers, or it could be an internal deadline where you as an IT practitioner, all of a sudden the board of directors say it needs to be done by the state. So, and then suddenly you are scrambling, right? So I don't know that it's fair to say that scramble won't occur. I think for a lot of people, if you leave this alone, eventually it will.
Yeah, Tim.
Right?
Look, everybody needs to understand their own scenario. Regulated industries, we're looking right at you.
Yeah.
The thing is, of course, when I talk to teams that are pragmatically working through all their problems with their day job, this doesn't come up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're bubbling this up to the surface to say, guys, as part of your taking inventory of cryptographic assets, which is what everybody has to be doing right now as part of their homework, this is part of your homework, is understanding that you're not going to move to PQC internally until you actually move over to at least TLS 1.3. I think we're going to have some guests on in the future talking about, what has to happen with TLS handshakes and with post-quantum. And it's interesting in that 1.3 does the job for, basic MLDSA key exchange. As I've actually got that working in a demonstration right now, and it's great. So therefore, hallelujah, we don't have to have some kind of other complicated TLS, right?
Right.
So that's good news, which means those of you who've done the homework and have 1.3, phew, right? You've taken that off the list, and hallelujah.
Yeah.
And you've probably done that. Most of the organizations that were watching this right now, you probably have a TLS 1.3 facing the public internet. Yeah. But we're talking, this specific podcast is about internally east-west traffic and why there's this roadblock to TLS 1.3.
And Jason, I also will imagine that as people go through this CBOM exercise, you may think you're all TLS 1.3 and then realize you're not. Or you might think there's a certain amount of older versions of TLS and then realize it's more than you thought. So one of the benefits of the CBOM exercise is understanding the true to-do list in this regard.
That is why we're bringing it up. I think along with your CBOM work, this is a big thing to have fully mapped in your enterprise of where you're doing TLS, where the key exchanges are happening, how they're happening. And I think that this good enough fallacy of 1.1 or 1.2, you know, that default of perfect forward secrecy, it's getting you something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just like, well, it works. I'm not going to fuss with it.
Yeah.
It's time to fuss with it.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Tim.